You know what's crazy is you don't even have to have super high standards anymore to be in a lonely position. And I don't really ever consider myself lonely per se anymore because I am with God as much as I can be. And even though I'm with God, yeah, it's going to be a place of solitude for sure. That you're going to have to go to get answers, and you're going to have to go to find some kind of sensible uh, attitude towards life. But what ultimately happens is when you have standards, you're going to start to push people away. And whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships with the opposite sex, or whether it's in your friendships and whatnot, when you have standards, you're going to push other people away. And not everybody's going to like how you do things. Okay. Some things that you do uh, might be annoying to other people, and what other people do might be annoying to you. But some things are better circumstances than others. For example, I'd rather be the kind of person that's around people that are trying to be extra or trying to be hyper philosophical or intellectual than people that are just, let's just say, clamorous and not knowing anything, and they're simple in their mindset, so simple that they can't even talk about anything. They don't have a personality. There's pros and cons to each, but I think it would be better for anybody to be in the former position. It's not to say that there's not problems with each, but man, it's better to be in one than the other, I would say. But I think there is this sweet spot that you can find with people, that you don't have to try to put on a show the whole time. You don't have to try to be extra the whole time. You don't have to try to prove yourself and improve things all the time. One thing with women, it seems like nowadays, with where I'm at in my life, it seems that they either want to prove themselves to the point that it's annoying, or they legitimately think that they're better than you no matter what you do. You could be a self-made millionaire and they're the hoe on the street, and they still think that they're better than you. Genuinely, they do. So there's pros and cons to all these different kinds of situations, but I think the best thing to do is to try to find the way of the non-way. And what I mean by that is there's a philosophical perspective from Bruce Lee that talks about this. Bruce Lee, he was a martial artist, and his legacy reigns on to this day and continues to impact a lot of people. But something that Bruce Lee talked about is how to be like water. When you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. When you put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. It can flow or it can crash. And be water, my friend, right? That everybody that knows Bruce Lee knows that that interview that I'm referring to there, and the movie. But the point is that the more you are like water, the more you just flow with life, sometimes things are going to be too aggressive for you. And sometimes things are going to be too soft for you. And I just simply say, whatever you're doing, don't waste your time. And this is going to be something that many people don't understand, is their decision making impacts the longevity of their circumstances. And one thing that I've realized is that, especially in business, the more stuff that you give for free, sometimes it's great to be able to give that kind of stuff. And I think that it's something that we ought to continue to strive to do. But, however, I also think that when it comes to actually setting things up and following through and committing to things, you're going to see all different kinds of personalities take place when you have something for free available. And anybody that knows business or is an entrepreneur or understands marketing of some kind, etc., they understand that it's very important for people to have these opportunities to, engage. But the thing is if you give opportunities for people and they see the opportunity, they want it, but then they don't do anything with it. That's where you have to ask yourself, how much of this stuff for free do I want to give? This is where you have to raise your standards. Okay, this is where you have to raise your standards. Anybody that has a price on their product or their service or whatever, and they've got testimonials and they've got people that are actually solid, you got to up your prices, man. You got to up your prices, because that kind of stuff just you now have social proof, and you have experience, and you have real life results and experience with this kind of stuff. And people that just want things for free, they're not going to be able to accept it. They're not going to be able to acknowledge it. They don't want to be in the arena. Okay, they want to be seen as if they're in the arena, but they're actually just a hologram in the arena. Okay, there's a Theodore Roosevelt quote that talks about the man in the arena, right? And a lot of these people want to be in the arena, but when it comes down to it, many people are not going to be able to do so. And then in relationships, with women, what's crazy is I really don't think I'm asking for a lot. I really don't think I'm asking for much. Don't be a hoe. Be loyal, or at least be capable of loyalty. Know how to cook, know how to clean. Don't be fat. Those are like the 5 things that are on my list. And notice how all of those are within the control of the individual. All of those are in control of the individual. And they're really not difficult tasks. Like they're really not difficult. I really don't know. Is this too high of a standard? I legitimately feel as though I'm being gaslit sometimes just by society in general, because I have what I think are basic standards, very basic. And yet, you got to ask yourself, because it's almost like, are my standards too high? I really don't think my standards are too high. I don't think I'm not asking for the world here, right? I'm really not asking for that much, right? I'm sure you guys have asked yourself this, and I'm sure women who have similar sentiments have asked themselves this, the women that are actually genuine that watch this channel. And you got to think to yourself, I'm really not asking for the world here, right? I'm really not. And it's so profoundly exquisite to see the disconnect that people have in society. And then it's also exquisite to see how just keeping your standards is going to keep so many people at bay nowadays, because that goes to show just how many standards people don't have for themselves. It goes to show how many people don't have respect and value themselves. They are literally just walking vessels of everywhere they go. And what's amazing and profound is to see the kinds of people in the world that just don't know how to keep themselves. They know how to do a lot of different things. I might actually make a video about this, because I've been thinking about rich people and how rich people choosing to be fat and cucks, for example, this new thing going on with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is one of the richest men, if not the richest man in the world, right? And he allegedly has got another girl pregnant. And now he doesn't even know if he's the father yet. However, he's giving this woman, $5 million up front, and then $500,000 a year for the rest of her life? Okay, well, either he knows that he's the father and he's just not saying it just yet, or he's just trying to give that woman hush money so she can shut up. And it's or maybe there's a third thing, or he just wants to give her this because he feels like he wants to give her. And I'm not saying that I'm the arbiter of truth of what people ought to do with their money, but I mean, come on, bro. Like, you're like the richest man in the world, but you choose to be fat. Like, he's definitely not in shape. You choose to be fat, and you choose these women that you're like simping to, bro. Like, what is up with this stuff? Like, what is going on with the world? The world is just so perplexing. Sometimes I'm in the mood where life is just so beautiful, and I'm just feeling the grace of God and the Holy Spirit just really just radiating through my body. And then I have days like today where I'm just kind of annoyed at the world. Because whenever I try to be encouraging, sometimes it backfires. If I try to be encouraging, it backfires. If I try to give people something just because I want to be able to give it, they can't follow through on their end. And it's like, why? Sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, isn't there a song called Hard Times by Paramore? And it's like, hard times make you want to ask yourself why you even try, something like that. And I can relate to that sometimes. I'm not saying that that's the way that it needs to be or that it should be, but my goodness, being a man in today's day and age, and you just have basic standards for your life, like for your relationships, your friends, your business partners, your business clients. These are basic standards. Show up on time. Pay attention to what's actually happening. Stay on topic. Or at least try to do these things. At least try. You don't even have to go 110%, but just just try. Just try to do these things. Try to be in the moment. It's okay to be who you are. Like, for example, with me, I'm hyper philosophical sometimes. I can be hyper philosophical, but that's who I am. That's who I am. And I don't really have a philosophy per se, right? But I love to talk about philosophy. I love to talk about psychology. I love to talk about spirituality. And even when you just point out a truth to somebody that you respect this person, and you point out a truth to them, they're going to turn back to you, and they're going to be like, they don't have the humility to take it as truth. They don't have the humility, and you're left thinking to yourself, wow, so this person isn't who I thought they were. Who is who we thought? Like, is anybody who they say they are anymore? This is why it's so important to have standards, and this is why you're going to be lonely when you're a man with standards, or a woman. But I'm catering more toward the message of to the men here in this video, and it's because I think many men can relate to this. Many men can relate to just being and feeling alone, simply because they have their lives in order to one degree or another. And they don't allow people that do not have their lives in order into their life, because they know that kind of energy is going to get transferred to some way, shape, or form over to you. If you hang around unlucky people, there's a law in the 48 Laws of Power, and it says something along the lines of avoid the unlucky. Yeah, because my thought algorithm, my thought equation is I am lucky, I'm lucky, I'm lucky, and I am being who I need to be at all times for God. The people that are choosing to be broken inside, the people that are choosing to just have this broken mindset, even though they seemingly have everything in the world that they could ever ask for, I don't want to be around those kinds of people. I don't want to work with those kinds of people, because I know that they're not going to be able to appreciate it. They might say it, but I'm not going to feel it. And you can feel it. You can feel the difference. Even through like social media and such, you can feel the difference. But I hope this video is more relatable for people out there, and I hope that this inspires people to raise their standards. It's okay to be alone, though. Okay, like that's going to be a big hindrance for a lot of people to not raise their standards as well. Well, now my dating pool shrinks. Well, now my friend options shrink. Well, now my business opportunities shrink. It's like, well, it does, but it doesn't. It's just going to reveal who's actually who and who's on what level. All right. So with that being said, I hope this video was informative and useful and insightful for you. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, we have the paid community in the link in the description box below, as well as a free Telegram subscription channel in the link in the description box below. All of the messages in the Telegram channel will be deleted after 24 hours. And then in the paid community right now, we are finishing up the Legends of Stoicism over the next couple weeks. And that's going to be a limited time option class. We do have other classes available, like the AI optimization, entrepreneurial minds, meditation, Godlike Savage, semen mastermind, semen retention mastermind, etc. We also have 3 weekly group calls per week for that academy. And then I do appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, and Instagram. I appreciate everybody's extra support, and I appreciate everybody tuning in, subscribing, and following to this channel. Peace be with you all. Until next time.